Most people go through life letting their minds run wild like a garden left untended. They allow weeds of negative thoughts to grow unchecked, choking out the beautiful flowers of possibility. They let their minds become dumping grounds for every piece of garbage information that comes their way. They treat their most precious possession with less care than they would give to their automobile. But here's what I've learned after decades of studying human behavior and personal development. The person who learns to control their mind controls their life. The person who masters their thoughts masters their destiny. The person who disciplines their mental habits disciplines their future. This isn't just positive thinking I'm talking about. This is fundamental truth about how success and failure are created. Let me share with you a story that changed my perspective forever. Early in my career, I met a man who had built a fortune from nothing. He wasn't particularly educated, wasn't born into wealth, didn't have any special advantages. But he had something more valuable than all of those things combined. He had learned to control his mind. When I asked him his secret, he said something I'll never forget, Jim. Most people are prisoners of their own thoughts. They've handed over the keys to their mental kingdom to circumstances, to other people, to their past failures, to their fears. But success begins the moment you decide to take back those keys. That conversation planted a seed in my mind that has grown into a fundamental philosophy. Your mind is either your greatest asset or your greatest liability. There's no middle ground. It's either working for you or against you. It's either building your dreams or destroying them. It's either creating your success or manufacturing your failure. The question isn't whether your mind has power. The question is, who's in charge of that power? Are you directing it, or is it directing you? Are you the master of your thoughts, or are your thoughts the master of you? This distinction makes all the difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who spend their lives wondering what might have been. Now, let me tell you something that might surprise you. Your mind is naturally undisciplined. It's like a wild horse that needs to be broken. Left to its own devices, it will wander into dangerous territory. It will focus on problems instead of solutions, on obstacles instead of opportunities, on what's wrong instead of what's possible. This isn't a flaw in your character. This is simply the nature of the untrained mind. But here's the magnificent truth. Your mind can be trained. It can be disciplined. It can be directed. It can be transformed from a liability into your greatest asset. The process isn't easy and it isn't quick, but it is absolutely possible. Every great achievement in human history started with someone who learned to control their mind, to direct their thoughts, to focus their mental energy on what they wanted to create rather than what they wanted to avoid. Think about the great inventors, the successful entrepreneurs, the leaders who changed the world. What did they all have in common? They had learned to control their minds. They had developed the ability to focus their thoughts like a laser beam on their objectives. They had mastered the art of mental discipline. They understood that thoughts are things, that ideas have power, and that the mind is the workshop where dreams are either built or destroyed. The first step in controlling your mind is understanding how it works. Your mind is constantly processing information, making judgments, creating interpretations, and generating responses. Most of this happens automatically, below the level of conscious awareness. But here's the key: you have the power to interrupt these automatic processes. You have the ability to choose your thoughts, to direct your focus, to decide what gets your mental attention. This power of choice is what separates humans from all other creatures on earth. Animals react to circumstances based on instinct, but humans have the unique ability to choose their response. Between what happens to you and how you respond, there's a space. In that space lies your freedom, your power, your opportunity to control your mind and shape your destiny. Let me give you a practical example. Suppose you're driving to work and someone cuts you off in traffic. Your automatic response might be anger, frustration, or indignation. But if you've learned to control your mind, you recognize that you have a choice. You can choose to let that incident ruin your morning, or you can choose to let it go and focus on something more productive. You can choose to see it as an opportunity to practice patience, or you can choose to see it as a test of your emotional discipline. This might seem like a small thing, but it's not. It's everything, because life is made up of thousands of these small moments, these tiny choices about how you're going to respond to circumstances. The person who consistently chooses constructive responses builds a pattern of mental discipline that serves them in every area of life. The person who consistently chooses destructive responses builds a pattern of mental chaos that undermines their success and happiness. The second principle of mind control is learning to direct your focus. Your mind can only focus on one thing at a time. This is both a limitation and an opportunity. It's a limitation because you can't think about everything at once. But it's an opportunity because you can choose what that one thing is going to be. You can direct your mental spotlight toward what serves you and away from what doesn't. Most people let their focus be controlled by circumstances, by other people, by the loudest voice in the room, by the most recent crisis, by whatever grabs their attention. But successful people understand that where your focus goes, your energy flows. They've learned to be intentional about what they give their mental attention to. They've developed the discipline to focus on solutions instead of problems, on opportunities instead of obstacles, on what they want instead of what they don't want. This requires practice, just like any other skill. You wouldn't expect to become a skilled pianist without practicing scales, would you? You wouldn't expect to become a great athlete without training your body. Well, controlling your mind requires the same kind of deliberate practice. You need to exercise your mental muscles to train your focus, to develop your concentration. One of the most powerful techniques for developing mental focus is what I call the replacement method. Instead of trying to stop negative thoughts, which is nearly impossible, you replace them with positive ones. Instead of trying to not think about your problems, you deliberately think about your goals. Instead of trying to avoid thinking about failure, you consciously focus on success. This works because your mind, like nature, abhors a vacuum. If you try to empty your mind of negative thoughts without replacing them with positive ones, the negative thoughts will rush back in. But if you consistently replace negative thoughts with positive ones, you gradually reprogram your mental patterns. You train your mind to default to constructive thinking instead of destructive thinking. The third principle of mind control is understanding the power of repetition. Your mind learns through repetition. Whatever you think about most often becomes your mental habit. Whatever you focus on repeatedly becomes your automatic response. This is why it's so important to be intentional about what you're feeding your mind on a daily basis. If you consistently expose your mind to negative information, negative conversations, negative influences, your mind will develop negative patterns. If you consistently expose your mind to positive information, positive conversations, positive influences, your mind will develop positive patterns. It's that simple and it's that powerful. This is why I'm so passionate about personal development, about reading good books, about associating with positive people, about feeding your mind with constructive information. You become what you think about most of the time. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. Your circumstances are a mirror of your consciousness. Now, let me address something that might be troubling you. You might be thinking, but Jim, I can't control what happens to me. I can't control the economy. I can't control other people. I can't control all the circumstances of my life. And you're absolutely right. You can't control external circumstances. But here's what you can control: your response to circumstances. You can control how you interpret what happens to you. You can control what meaning you give to events. You can control what you focus on. You can control what you think about. You can control what you believe is possible. And these internal controls are far more powerful than any external circumstances. Let me tell you about a man I knew who understood this principle better than anyone. He was diagnosed with a serious illness that the doctor said would limit his mobility and eventually confine him to a wheelchair. Now, he had two choices. He could focus on the limitations, on what he couldn't do, on how unfair life was. Or he could focus on what he could still do, on how he could adapt, on what opportunities this challenge might create. He chose the second option. He used his diagnosis as motivation to start a business that he could run from anywhere. He developed systems that didn't require physical presence. He built a network of people who could help him execute his vision. Within 5 years, he had built a more successful business than he had ever imagined possible. His limitation became his liberation. His challenge became his opportunity. This man understood that controlling your mind isn't about denying reality. It's about choosing how you're going to respond to reality. It's about focusing on what you can influence rather than what you can't. It's about finding the opportunity in every challenge, the lesson in every setback, the growth in every difficulty. The fourth principle of mind control is learning to question your thoughts. Most people accept their thoughts as absolute truth. If they think something, they believe it. If they feel something, they assume it's valid. But thoughts are not facts. Thoughts are interpretations. Thoughts are opinions. Thoughts are often wrong. Just because you think something doesn't make it true. Just because you feel something doesn't make it accurate. Just because you believe something doesn't make it real. Your thoughts are influenced by your past experiences, your current emotions, your physical state, your environment, and countless other factors. Many of your thoughts are simply habits, automatic responses that you've developed over time. Learning to question your thoughts is like being a detective in your own mind. When a negative thought appears, instead of accepting it as truth, you ask questions. Is this thought helpful? Is this thought accurate? Is this thought moving me toward my goals or away from them? Is this thought based on facts or fears? Is this thought serving me or sabotaging me? This process of questioning your thoughts puts you back in control. Instead of being a victim of your thinking, you become the editor of your thoughts. Instead of accepting every mental suggestion, you become selective about what you allow to influence your actions and emotions. The fifth principle of mind control is understanding the connection between your thoughts and your emotions. Most people think that emotions just happen to them, that they're victims of their feelings. But emotions are created by thoughts. Change your thoughts and you change your emotions. Control your thoughts and you control your emotional state. This doesn't mean you should never feel negative emotions. Negative emotions serve important purposes. They alert you to problems, motivate you to make changes, and help you process difficult experiences. But you don't have to be controlled by your emotions. You don't have to let them dictate your actions. You don't have to let them determine your destiny. When you understand that your emotions are created by your thoughts, you realize that you have more power than you ever imagined. You can choose thoughts that create confidence instead of fear, enthusiasm instead of apathy, determination instead of doubt. You can learn to generate the emotional states that serve your goals and avoid the emotional states that sabotage your success. The sixth principle of mind control is developing mental discipline through daily practices. Just as physical fitness requires regular exercise, mental fitness requires regular practice. You need to develop daily habits that strengthen your mental muscles and reinforce positive thinking patterns. One of the most powerful daily practices is meditation or quiet reflection. This doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. Even 5 minutes a day of quiet time can help you develop the ability to observe your thoughts without being controlled by them. It can help you develop the mental space to choose your responses rather than simply reacting to circumstances. Another powerful practice is journaling. Writing down your thoughts helps you become more aware of your mental patterns. It helps you identify negative thinking habits and replace them with positive ones. It helps you process your experiences and extract lessons from them. It helps you clarify your goals and track your progress. Reading personal development books is another essential practice. Your mind needs regular feeding with positive, constructive information. Just as your body needs nutritious food to function properly, your mind needs nutritious thoughts to operate at its best. The books you read, the conversations you have, the information you consume all shape your mental patterns. Association with positive people is equally important. You become like the people you spend time with. If you associate with negative people, you'll develop negative thinking patterns. If you associate with positive people, you'll develop positive thinking patterns. Choose your associations carefully. Seek out people who challenge you to grow, who inspire you to be better, who support your goals and dreams. The seventh principle of mind control is understanding the power of visualization. Your mind thinks in pictures. It responds to images more powerfully than to words. When you create vivid mental pictures of your goals, your mind begins to work toward making those pictures reality. Visualization isn't just daydreaming. It's a disciplined mental practice that programs your subconscious mind for success. When you repeatedly visualize yourself achieving your goals, you create neural pathways that support those achievements. You train your mind to recognize opportunities that move you toward your goals. You develop the confidence and motivation needed to take action. The most successful people in every field use visualization in some form. Athletes visualize perfect performances. Entrepreneurs visualize successful businesses. Artists visualize completed works. They understand that creation begins in the mind, that every external achievement starts as an internal vision. Now, let me share with you something that might challenge your current thinking. Controlling your mind isn't about positive thinking alone. It's about realistic thinking. It's about accurate thinking. It's about productive thinking. Sometimes the most positive thing you can think is that you need to make a change. Sometimes the most constructive thought is that you need to learn something new. Sometimes the most helpful thought is that you need to work harder. Mind control is about thinking thoughts that serve your long-term best interests, not just thoughts that make you feel good in the moment. It's about developing the mental discipline to choose difficult thoughts when they lead to beneficial actions. It's about having the courage to think thoughts that challenge you to grow, even when they're uncomfortable. This brings us to one of the most important aspects of mind control, learning to embrace discomfort. Your mind naturally seeks comfort and avoids discomfort, but growth happens outside your comfort zone. Success requires doing things that feel uncomfortable. Achievement demands thinking thoughts that challenge your current limitations. The person who learns to control their mind learns to be comfortable with discomfort. They learn to think thoughts that move them toward their goals, even when those thoughts require them to face their fears, acknowledge their weaknesses, or take on difficult challenges. They understand that temporary discomfort is the price of permanent improvement. Let me tell you about the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people when it comes to mental discipline. Unsuccessful people think thoughts that feel good in the moment but create problems in the future. They think thoughts that justify their current situation rather than challenge them to improve it. They think thoughts that make excuses rather than create solutions. Successful people think thoughts that might feel challenging in the moment but create benefits in the future. They think thoughts that push them beyond their current limitations. They think thoughts that demand action rather than permit inaction. They think thoughts that create possibilities rather than limitations. This is why successful people often seem to have an unusual relationship with problems and challenges. Where others see obstacles, they see opportunities. Where others see reasons to quit, they see reasons to persist. Where others see proof that something can't be done, they see proof that they need to find a better way. The eighth principle of mind control is understanding that your mind is always working, even when you're not conscious of it. Your subconscious mind is like a powerful computer that's constantly processing information, making connections, and generating solutions. But it can only work with the information you give it. If you consistently feed your subconscious mind with problems, worries, and limitations, that's what it will focus on. It will find evidence to support your fears and confirm your doubts. But if you consistently feed it with goals, possibilities, and solutions, it will work to make those things reality. It will find ways to overcome obstacles and create opportunities. This is why it's so important to be intentional about what you think about, especially in the quiet moments before sleep and the first moments after waking. These are times when your subconscious mind is most receptive to suggestion. Use these opportunities to program your mind with positive goals and constructive thoughts. The ninth principle of mind control is learning to use your mind's natural tendency to seek consistency. Your mind wants your actions to be consistent with your thoughts and beliefs. If you see yourself as a successful person, your mind will drive you to act in ways that are consistent with that image. If you see yourself as a victim, your mind will drive you to act in ways that reinforce that identity. This is why it's so important to consciously choose your self-image. How you see yourself determines how you behave. How you behave determines your results. How you think about yourself is more important than what others think about you. It's more important than your current circumstances. It's more important than your past failures or successes. You have the power to choose your self-image. You can decide to see yourself as capable, worthy, and destined for success. You can choose to see yourself as a person who overcomes challenges, who learns from setbacks, who grows through difficulties. When you consistently hold this image in your mind, your actions will naturally align with it. The 10th principle of mind control is understanding that mastery is a process, not a destination. You don't control your mind once and then you're done. You control your mind moment by moment, day by day, year by year. It's an ongoing practice that requires constant attention and deliberate effort. Some days will be better than others. Some days your mind will be disciplined and focused. Other days it will wander and rebel. This is normal. This is part of the process. The key is to keep practicing, to keep working at it, to keep choosing constructive thoughts over destructive ones. Don't expect perfection. Expect progress. Don't demand immediate results. Demand consistent effort. Don't focus on how far you have to go. Focus on how far you've come. Every small improvement in your mental discipline creates momentum for bigger improvements in the future. Let me share with you a story that illustrates the long-term power of mind control. There was a man who started practicing mental discipline at age 35. He had been struggling with negative thinking, self-doubt, and fear of failure. He began reading personal development books, practicing visualization, and questioning his negative thoughts. The changes weren't dramatic at first, but gradually over months and years, his thinking patterns shifted. He became more confident, more focused, more optimistic. He started taking actions he had previously been too afraid to take. He began pursuing opportunities he had previously thought were beyond his reach. By age 50, he had transformed his life completely. He had built a successful business, developed strong relationships, and achieved financial independence. But more importantly, he had peace of mind. He had confidence in his ability to handle whatever life brought his way. He had become the master of his own destiny. This transformation didn't happen overnight. It happened through thousands of small choices, thousands of moments when he chose constructive thoughts over destructive ones, thousands of times when he directed his focus towards solutions rather than problems. It happened through the daily practice of mental discipline. Now, let me address something that might be concerning you. You might be thinking, this all sounds good, Jim, but I've tried to control my mind before and it didn't work. I've tried positive thinking and it didn't change my circumstances. I've tried visualization and my dreams didn't come true. Here's what I want you to understand. Controlling your mind is not about magical thinking. It's not about wishful thinking. It's not about believing that thoughts alone will change your external circumstances. Controlling your mind is about preparing yourself to take more effective action. It's about developing the mental clarity to see opportunities. It's about building the confidence to pursue those opportunities. It's about creating the persistence to overcome obstacles. Your thoughts don't directly change your circumstances. Your thoughts change your actions, and your actions change your circumstances. Your thoughts don't create opportunities. Your thoughts help you recognize opportunities that are already there. Your thoughts don't eliminate problems. Your thoughts help you develop better solutions to problems. Mind control is not a substitute for action. It's a foundation for better action. It's not a replacement for skill development. It's a platform for more effective skill development. It's not an alternative to hard work. It's a way to make your hard work more productive and purposeful. The 11th principle of mind control is learning to use your mind's natural problem-solving ability. Your mind is designed to solve problems. Give it a clear problem to solve, and it will work on finding solutions. Give it a vague worry to obsess over, and it will create more problems. Most people unknowingly misuse their mind's problem-solving ability. Instead of asking, how can I solve this problem? They ask, why is this happening to me? Instead of asking, what can I learn from this situation? They ask, who can I blame for this? Instead of asking, what opportunities might this create? They ask, how can I avoid dealing with this? The quality of your questions determines the quality of your thinking. Ask better questions and you'll get better answers. Ask constructive questions and you'll get constructive solutions. Ask possibility-focused questions and you'll discover possibility-focused answers. When you face a challenge, instead of asking, why me, ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of asking, how can I avoid this? Ask, how can I use this to grow? Instead of asking, who's to blame? Ask, what can I do about it? These simple changes in your internal questioning can transform your entire approach to problems and challenges. The 12th principle of mind control is understanding the connection between your thoughts and your energy. Negative thoughts drain your energy. Positive thoughts energize you. Worry exhausts you. Excitement energizes you. Fear depletes you. Confidence empowers you. Your mental state directly affects your physical state. When your mind is filled with negative thoughts, your body responds with low energy, poor posture, and reduced vitality. When your mind is filled with positive thoughts, your body responds with high energy, good posture, and enhanced vitality. This is why it's so important to monitor your mental diet as carefully as you monitor your physical diet. Just as junk food makes your body sluggish, junk thoughts make your mind sluggish. Just as nutritious food energizes your body, nutritious thoughts energize your mind. Pay attention to how different thoughts affect your energy level. Notice which thoughts make you feel more powerful and which thoughts make you feel more powerless. Notice which thoughts inspire you to take action and which thoughts paralyze you with fear. Use this awareness to become more selective about the thoughts you entertain. The 13th principle of mind control is learning to use your mind's natural creativity. Your mind is incredibly creative. It can generate unlimited ideas, solutions, and possibilities. But its creativity is directed by your focus. If you focus on problems, it will create more problems. If you focus on solutions, it will create more solutions. Most people accidentally use their mind's creativity against themselves. They imagine worst-case scenarios, create detailed pictures of their fears, and generate elaborate stories about why their goals are impossible. They use their imagination to strengthen their limitations rather than expand their possibilities. But when you learn to control your mind, you can direct its creativity toward positive outcomes. You can use your imagination to create vivid pictures of your goals. You can generate multiple solutions to every problem. You can develop creative approaches to challenges. You can visualize successful outcomes and work backward to create action plans. Your imagination is not just entertainment. It's a powerful tool for creating your future. The images you create in your mind today influence the actions you take tomorrow. The possibilities you imagine today become the realities you create in the future. The 14th principle of mind control is understanding that your mind responds to certainty and clarity. Your mind works best when it has clear direction. Give it specific goals, and it will work to achieve them. Give it vague wishes, and it will produce vague results. Most people give their minds conflicting messages. They say they want success, but think about failure. They say they want wealth, but focus on poverty. They say they want happiness, but dwell on problems. This confusion makes it impossible for their minds to work effectively on their behalf. Clarity is power. When you're clear about what you want, your mind can focus its energy on achieving it. When you're clear about your values, your mind can make decisions that align with them. When you're clear about your priorities, your mind can direct your time and energy toward what matters most. Take time to clarify your goals, your values, and your priorities. Write them down. Review them regularly. Make sure your daily thoughts are aligned with your long-term objectives. This alignment between your conscious desires and your subconscious programming is what creates unstoppable momentum toward your goals. The 15th principle of mind control is learning to use your mind's natural learning ability. Your mind is designed to learn and grow. It's constantly processing new information, making new connections, and developing new capabilities. But it can only learn from the information you give it. If you consistently expose your mind to low-quality information, it will develop low-quality thinking patterns. If you consistently expose it to high-quality information, it will develop high-quality thinking patterns. Your mind becomes like the information it processes most often. This is why successful people are such voracious learners. They understand that their mind is their most valuable asset, and they invest in it accordingly. They read books, attend seminars, listen to educational programs, and seek out mentors. They understand that learning is not just about acquiring information. It's about upgrading their mental operating system. Make a commitment to lifelong learning. Set aside time each day to feed your mind with positive, constructive information. Read books that challenge you to think differently. Listen to programs that inspire you to grow. Associate with people who expand your perspective. Treat your mind like the valuable asset it is. The 16th principle of mind control is understanding that your mind is influenced by your environment. Your physical environment, your social environment, and your information environment all shape your thinking patterns. If you want to control your mind, you need to control your environment. Look around your living space. Does it inspire positive thoughts or negative thoughts? Does it support your goals or distract from them? Does it energize you or drain you? Your environment is constantly sending messages to your subconscious mind. Make sure those messages are consistent with the person you want to become. Examine your social environment. Are you surrounded by people who inspire you to grow or people who encourage you to stay small? Are you part of conversations that expand your possibilities or limit them? Are you influenced by people who challenge you to be better or people who accept mediocrity? Analyze your information environment. What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to? Is the information you're consuming making you more optimistic or more pessimistic? Is it expanding your knowledge or confirming your limitations? Is it inspiring you to take action or paralyzing you with fear? You may not be able to control everything in your environment, but you can control more than you think. You can choose what books to read, what programs to watch, what conversations to join, what spaces to spend time in. Use these choices to create an environment that supports your mental discipline and reinforces your positive thinking patterns. The 17th principle of mind control is learning to use your mind's natural goal-seeking ability. Your mind is like a guided missile system. Give it a clear target, and it will work to hit that target. Give it no target, and it will wander aimlessly. Give it a negative target, and it will create negative results. This is why goal setting is so powerful. When you set clear, specific goals, you program your mind to work toward those goals automatically. Your mind begins to notice opportunities that move you toward your goals. It begins to generate ideas that help you achieve your goals. It begins to motivate you to take actions that support your goals. But here's the key: your goals must be more than just wishes. They must be clear, specific, written down, and reviewed regularly. They must be challenging enough to inspire you, but realistic enough to be achievable. They must be aligned with your values and consistent with your life purpose. Take time to set clear goals for every important area of your life. Write them down. Review them daily. Visualize yourself achieving them. Create action plans for reaching them. Let your mind know exactly what you want it to work toward. This clarity of direction is what separates successful people from unsuccessful people. The 18th principle of mind control is understanding that your mind responds to repetition and consistency. Your mind learns through repetition. Whatever you think about most often becomes your mental habit. Whatever you focus on consistently becomes your automatic response. This is why it's so important to be consistent in your mental practices. Reading one personal development book won't transform your thinking. Visualizing your goals once won't program your subconscious. Questioning your negative thoughts occasionally won't change your mental patterns. But reading personal development books regularly will gradually transform your thinking. Visualizing your goals daily will program your subconscious for success. Questioning your negative thoughts consistently will change your mental patterns. Repetition is the mother of skill, and consistency is the father of results. Make mental discipline a daily practice. Set aside time each day for positive thinking, goal visualization, and mental conditioning. Make it as much a part of your routine as brushing your teeth or eating breakfast. This consistency will compound over time, creating dramatic improvements in your mental clarity and emotional state. The 19th principle of mind control is learning to use your mind's natural resilience. Your mind is incredibly resilient. It can recover from setbacks, adapt to changes, and bounce back from failures. But this resilience must be developed through practice. Most people unknowingly weaken their mental resilience by avoiding challenges, running from difficulties, and seeking comfort above growth. They try to protect themselves from failure, but in doing so, they also protect themselves from success. They try to avoid pain, but in doing so, they also avoid the growth that comes from overcoming challenges. Mental resilience is like a muscle. It grows stronger through use and weaker through neglect. The more you challenge your mind to overcome difficulties, the stronger it becomes. The more you practice bouncing back from setbacks, the better you become at it. The more you use your mind to find solutions to problems, the more creative and resourceful it becomes. Don't try to avoid all challenges and difficulties. Instead, use them as opportunities to strengthen your mental resilience. See each setback as a chance to practice recovery. See each problem as a chance to develop your problem-solving skills. See each challenge as a chance to grow your mental strength. The 20th principle of mind control is understanding that mastery of your mind is the foundation of mastery in every other area of your life. Your mind affects everything you do. It influences your relationships, your career, your health, your finances, your happiness, and your success. When you control your mind, you control the quality of your life. When you master your thoughts, you master your destiny. When you discipline your mental habits, you discipline your future. This is not just theory. This is practical reality that you can apply starting today. The person who learns to control their mind becomes unstoppable. They develop the ability to stay focused on their goals despite distractions. They develop the resilience to bounce back from setbacks. They develop the creativity to find solutions to problems. They develop the confidence to pursue opportunities. They develop the persistence to overcome obstacles. This is not about becoming perfect. This is about becoming progressively better. This is not about never having negative thoughts. This is about not being controlled by negative thoughts. This is not about avoiding all problems. This is about developing the mental tools to handle problems effectively. You have within you right now everything you need to begin controlling your mind. You have the ability to choose your thoughts. You have the power to direct your focus. You have the capacity to question your mental patterns. You have the strength to change your thinking habits. The only question is, will you use these abilities? Will you commit to the daily practice of mental discipline? Will you take responsibility for the quality of your thoughts? Will you invest the time and effort required to master your mind? The choice is yours. The power is yours. The opportunity is yours. Your mind is waiting for your direction. Your future is waiting for your decision. Your destiny is waiting for your commitment. Start today. Start now. Start with the very next thought you think. Choose a constructive thought over a destructive one. Choose a solution-focused thought over a problem-focused one. Choose a possibility-focused thought over a limitation-focused one. Your mind is your most valuable possession. Treat it with the respect it deserves. Feed it with quality information. Exercise it with challenging tasks. Direct it with clear goals. Discipline it with consistent practice. Master it with persistent effort. Remember, you are not a victim of your thoughts. You are the creator of your thoughts. You are not at the mercy of your mind. You are the master of your mind. You are not controlled by your mental patterns. You are the author of your mental patterns. The moment you accept complete responsibility for your mental state is the moment you begin to control your destiny. The moment you stop blaming circumstances for your thoughts is the moment you start changing your circumstances through your thoughts. The moment you realize that your mind is your most powerful tool is the moment you begin to use it effectively. This is your time. This is your opportunity. This is your chance to take control of your mind and transform your life. The principles I've shared with you today are not just theories. They are practical tools that you can use immediately to begin improving your mental discipline and creating better results in every area of your life. Your mind is waiting for your leadership. Your thoughts are waiting for your direction. Your future is waiting for your decision. Take control of your mind, and you take control of your life. Master your thoughts, and you master your destiny. The power is in your hands. The choice is yours. The time is now.